What a week, guys. I'm telling you, the app count, it's our best app count this year. That's the week we had. It's been crazy to watch this team respond. I get cold chills because every once in a while I'll hear other people complain about how terrible everything is. And there are there some terrible things going on? Yes, there are some terrible things going on. But instead of letting that affect you, this team has answered the bell and said, you know what, we got to do what we got to do despite what's going on. In fact, we got to do what we got to do because of what's going on. We got to get out there and get families covered. We got to get out there and bring more people into the business to help us. I'm just so proud of this team, seeing all that go on. Let's see. I put my, need this sheet back here. All right, so just a couple of announcements. Moving forward, the virtual show the plans, which have been awesome. That is going to be the plan moving forward. Me and Andy and several other top leaders have been talking about it for a while. On Friday, he unveiled it to the rest of the agency managers. We're going to reduce all access, and we're going to keep the virtual show the plans as the plan. That way, you just pile them in. Somebody says, "Do I need to watch those?" No. Those are for you to recruit to. There's tons of trainings though for you to tap into, but those virtual show the plans, they've been off the chain. You got the top people showing the plan every single time. You got a noon and a 7. Jeremico Edwards on our team just showed it at noon. Got great feedback. We got let's see, I got the schedule right in front of me. You got Paul Minicino showing the plan tonight at 7, and Paul Minicino has been killing it. That's what Andy's wanted to do with the show the plans, is put the people who got the smoke of battle on them the most, put them in the game. Let them show the plan. And Jeremico's been killing it. Paul Minikino's been killing it. Tomorrow, you've got Noel Leventovich at 12 Central Time. Remember, Monday's East Coast time, Tuesday's Central Time, Wednesday's Mountain Time, Thursday is Pacific Time. So tomorrow at noon, you got Noel Leventovich at noon Central Time. You got Andy Riddle at 7 Central Time tomorrow. We got the TWC with Andy Albright on Wednesday, and then Kelly Haney's going to show the plan at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. And then you've got Kyle Cater, who just blew up the world last week in recruiting. Kyle inspired me. As soon as Andy announced those numbers, the first thing I did after that call was call Kyle Cater. I was like, I'm going to get to him right after the call before he gets in the middle of something else. I'm going to ask him some questions. And I got to tell you, my conversation with Kyle Cater after I pulled the trigger on the biggest commitment I've ever made in recruiting. I'm serious. Just pull the trigger. Said, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Let's see. On Friday, you got Jason and Tawny Carey showing the plan at noon Pacific time. And then Belle Krause, who's been killing it. She's in one of the worst hit places in the country in Washington State. And she's been killing it in personal production. And they've been killing it, her and Jake, in recruiting. So she's going to show the plan 7 p.m. Pacific time. You got all other kinds of trainings. You got Adam Katz doing a training today at 2 p.m. East Coast time. You got Bam doing the training tomorrow at 2 Central Time. And then Ivy Wilson at 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. If you need this calendar, I can get this calendar to you. Those trainings by Ivy Wilson, I'm going to encourage you to, if you have not tapped into those, please tap into those. I'm going to talking a little bit about a gold mine that we're just not accessing. It's a gold mine. It's sitting right there. It's just right there. All we got to do is just pick it up. It's right there. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But those Ivy Wilson trainings would be stuff I would be tapping into. Wednesday night, we have a special training just for our team. Gina Hawks is going to do a Zoom training just for Davies Nation, just for you guys, just for this team. And I got her on in a little bit just to give us a little sample so we can promote that training Wednesday night. You've got Ivy Wilson doing another training on Wednesday. You've got Mike Leventovich doing lead training Pacific time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So that'll be earlier here on the East Coast. Gina Hawks is doing an IUL training at 8 p.m. They got the Eastern time over here. Oh, cool. 8 p.m. Mike's training will be at 5 p.m. Let's see what else we got here. There's so much. If you need this calendar, I can get it to you. Text me. I'll send it to you. But let's get started. Gina, are you with us? Can you turn your camera on? And I just give them I appreciate you jumping on. I know you are crazy busy, and you have been helping out a ton. I know your calendar's crazy busy. You've been doing tons of trainings for teams. I appreciate you being willing to do one just for our team. But I just want to turn it over to you for the next few minutes and let you tell them a little bit about what to expect on Wednesday night. We can't see you or hear you, Gina, if you're talking. All right, we'll move on from that. We'll come back to Gina. Gina, if you come back on, just jump in. Let's go first then to Diana Castile. Diana, me and you have had some conversations. You have set some goals and you have gone out and accomplished them. And I am crazy, crazy proud of you. But now you're also volunteering to lead the charge on this gold mine that's sitting out there. So Diana, take over. Oh, we got Gina. Now we see you, Gina. Diana, hold. We'll press pause on Diana and we'll go to Gina first. Hey, Gina. You're on mute. Do we need to unmute her?
I can.
Yeah, unmute her. All right, go ahead. Still can't hear. All right, we'll go to Diana Castile while we get that figured out. Diana, can you come back on?
Hello. Hello. Well, there's Gina again.
We still can't hear you, Gina. Diana, go ahead and start up. Diana, go ahead and start if you hear me. Technical difficulties, we'll figure it out.
All right, there you go. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead and start, Diana.
Hey, first I'd just like to say thank you very much for having me on to talk to the team today. I appreciate the privilege of being able to speak to the whole team today. Wow, it's been a fantastic week and just fired up to be able to talk to you guys. I definitely have been inspired to just really continue to grow and fired up to have such wonderful people on this team to keep helping to push me along. Sean Quigley and Evan and so many of you other guys have just been really helping inspire me to keep moving and growing. And definitely made some changes with the help of Stephen and my husband. Committed to writing 15 apps a week. I don't know if all of you know, but my husband has locked me out of the TV as part of helping me to be able to get my 15 apps. That is correct. It's he's changed the codes on our TV, so you know, got to do what you got to do, I guess. So, but you know, it does help. So, you know, there's some accountability, and I actually literally have to show him that I have sent Stephen my numbers, and then, you know, it's like, okay, I can have my TV time back. But you know, it seems like it, you know, it's kind of, you know, funny in a way, but it's also kind of helps because then there is, you know, I'm staying focused and I'm staying locked in, and you know, it's really making sure that I'm focusing in on what I've said that I'm going to do and focusing in on those commitments, and you know, it's set buy-in, and it's being committed to what it is that I said. Nope, I'm not just going to set 20 appointments, but I'm actually going to get those 15 apps written. And so that's what I'm doing. And also in that process, it helped me realize that, you know, we've got a lot of really great things at our disposal. You know, the Medicare supplements, the hospital indemnity, even the, you know, dental policies that we're able to write, you know, looking at everything that we have that's at our disposal. I have had several clients just within this last week that, in not just looking at, we write life, or we write, accidental, or we write annuities, but we've got a whole plethora of policies that we have at our disposal. And sitting with a client who, when I was helping him with a final expense lead, his birthday is in November, and he had just on the day that I went to see him had gotten something in the mail for about looking at something for his Medicare, and I was like, well, the thing for you is that don't not respond to that. You respond to that, you're going to get 500 people calling you. I'm like, do you really want to have that? He's like, oh no. And I was like, see, I can help you with that. And we started looking at different options and stuff for him, because we can help our clients with all of that. And he was like, I am so glad that you told me. I'm so glad that you called me. I'm like, I'm your one-stop shop. I'm telling you, I'm like the Chicago of insurance. And we both laughed about it. And now I can help him with that. I helped him with the hospital indemnity policy. Hospital indemnity helps people from 40 to 85 years old. I had a client who she reached out to me because she was needing something for dental coverage. There you go. We can help people with all kinds of stuff. So, another client who she's Medicare eligible, but she is not 65. We can help people with supplementals for that. And, definitely get on that training with Ivy, because that training is going to be crucial. If you're not doing those policies, you are definitely losing out on leaving money on the table. And if you got that kind of money to leave on the table, 828-55. That's my number. Call me. I will take what you don't want to pick up. I'm telling you, you're leaving it. You're leaving a pile of money on the table. It's out there. You just need to plug in and pick it up, because people, it's there. And I mean, I'll admit it, I wasn't doing it until I really just started asking the questions and really doing just that extra due diligence that we need to. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I love it. I love it. And you are 100% right. It's a gold mine. One of the things I'm going to talk to you about in a minute is the CRM. Go into the ARC, log into the ARC. If you need help logging into the ARC and you're on Eduardo Soto's team, call him. He will show you how to log on in the ARC. If you fall somewhere under his team, call him or one of his key leaders. They'll help you get on. If you're outside of that, call the key leader in between you and me, or call me. I would love to show you how the ARC works. The CRM is insane. The CRM that we get with the ARC, if you went to Salesforce or some other company like that for a lesser CRM, you're going to pay $300 or $400 a month. The CRM we get included in the ARC is insane. When you go to this, so you log into the ARC and then you go up to the top drop box, log down to CRM. It'll open up your CRM. It has your today and this week tab on the left. It'll tell you exactly how many clients you got that need a 3-month review, that need a 6-month review, that need a 12-month review. It'll tell you exactly how many clients you've got that are within 6 months of their 65th birthday and need a Medicare supplement. When you look at that and you look at the sheer numbers, Hutch, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to some of my guys who have been with me a long time. It's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just sitting there. And if we don't get it, somebody else will. And you know what? I know your heart, Hutch. I know the hearts of the top producers and the top, salespeople on this team. I don't want another agent in the homes of our clients. You know how they'll do it. You know what they do. You've seen the kind of crap that they'll sell to people, that you've seen the me first commission decisions they make. We don't need them in the homes of our clients. Let's get in there. It's a gold mine. Like we went through the major hierarchies and looked at the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Medicare eligible clients that we have. It's an absolute gold mine. Absolute gold mine. Please get on some of those Ivy Wilson trainings and start learning those extra products, that and the hospital indemnity product we have, the health matching accounts. It's a huge gold mine. If you look back at what you wrote in the month of April, if all it is life and annuities, you're leaving crazy amount on the table, and you're exposing your dear clients to the rest of the industry because they need these products. They need these products. They got to get them. And let's not expose them to the rest of the industry. You know how they do. You know how they behave. You've seen how other insurance, you've caught in behind someone and said, oh, they 100% lied about this. That is not what this is. We can't expose the people we're helping to the rest of the industry. Let's get in there. Let's collect that. And I love, Dennis, if you can leave that money on the table, call me. I love it. Awesome. Let's go back to Gina. I think we got our issue ironed out. Gina?
Hey, can you hear me this time?
Crystal clear.
Awesome. You'd think by now I'd know how to use Zoom, right? Well, it is awesome to be here on the call. First of all, congratulations to everybody that is out there helping families and killing it. Diana and Evan and so many people. So proud of you guys just going out there and fighting. But I wanted to talk just a minute about what we're going to be training on Wednesday night for 7 o'clock. So I'm going to be training about the Medicare products. So a lot of what I'm going to do is not really product specific, but how to talk to people in the Medicare market. So I'm kind of showing you the difference between, well, just kind of how Medicare works, how Medicare supplements work, how Medicare Advantage works, how you can sell the hospital indemnity in conjunction with a Medicare Advantage, as well as the HMA programs. Because just like Diana was saying, these are interconnected products. And when you go in, there are multiple products that you can use in conjunction to help clients when it comes to the Medicare market. And I know if you're like me, I was having to learn a lot of this. I knew it. I used to work in the Medicare market some about 9 years ago, but obviously I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone 9 years ago. So I had to relearn everything. And of course, things have changed. So I've put together a training that actually will be on the university eventually that talks and hopefully simplifies the whole Medicare process for you and for your client. It's going to be more of a, how do I explain this to a client? And then how do I fit the products into what I'm talking to the client about? And we're going to focus on, like I said, the Medicare, the hospital indemnity, the HMA, an untapped market. I think we're just starting to kind of get into this. And I'm sure all of you that have been with us for a while, like Stephen is saying, go in your CRM, you have tons of clients that you can help with Medicare. So we definitely want to kind of equip you for that and hopefully get you ready to rock and roll and help your clients out with Medicare. So I'm super excited about Wednesday and I cannot wait. And just look forward to helping the Davies team, and you guys just keep rocking and rolling out there, and I will talk to you on Wednesday.
Sounds great, Gina. We can't wait. And I really appreciate you being willing to work in a special training just for our team. So what she's talking about is the gold mine. That's the gold mine that is just sitting there. On top of all the commissions involved in Medicare supplement and hospital indemnity, it's another opportunity to get in front of your clients. And think about it, when somebody's Medicare eligible, what are they likely moving towards at that point? Retirement. It's an annuity 401k rollover gold mine. It's a gold mine. I'm telling you, it's just sitting there. So please look back at April, look back at March. If all you see on your production is just life insurance and annuities, you're leaving the gold mine out there and it's there. Woo! So I don't know about you. I don't like leaving gold mines out there. So let's get after it. 7 p.m. Wednesday. I will personally be on that training with you as well because I need to get myself up to speed. I'm right there with you. All right. Let's get going now. I want to get Evan Patzer on the phone because I'm telling you, the last few conversations I've had with Evan have been conversations that I get off the phone and I want to just like karate chop down a tree in my backyard. Like I'm that fired up because where his heart is, where his mind is, and the things he's saying, I'm like, that's somebody that could flat out pass everybody and be the next major superstar in the alliance that shifts things up. Just because here's what I know. I know what words mean. Words, there's no neutral words. So I listen to the words that come out of people's mouth to tell me where their heart is. And I want you to hear Evan's heart. Evan, I'm going to turn over to you for a little bit because I'm going to mute myself out and listen back in and get fired up all over again, brother.
Hey, Stephen, can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, brother.
Woo! I'm ready to jump out of my skin. I am so fired up to be on the Davies Nation call today. Always, Stephen, it is an honor just to be asked to share this call with you and just be able to share some of the stuff that I've been doing and going through to the team in hopes that y'all can take away something and apply it to your business and see growth and advancement and things of that nature. So such an honor to be on here. Gosh, it keeps getting gooder and gooder. One thing I got to say before I get started talking about some of the things Stephen has asked me to mention, this company is so special. This organization of people is so special because as things change in the world, we've got a group of leaders that are there to support you and get you back on track. So just a little bit about what I've been going through over the past couple of weeks, not last week, but the previous week. I'd had one of the worst weeks that I've had in a really long time. And I'm so grateful for this culture and for this group of leadership, Billy Crane, Jeremico Edwards, Hutch, and then so many other leaders inside of the Alliance family, just so willing to help me get my mind back on track and adjust so that I can have the week that I just had. So one thing that I've done and that changed for me is I was kind of allowing myself to believe, and I encourage everybody, please don't do this. And if you have already, it's okay. There's hope. You can get back on track. But I was allowing myself to believe that I had to convert everything that I was doing to telesales. I started seeing all this training that we have on how to sell over the phone. All the carriers are adjusting to allow us to do that. And so not last week, but the week before, I had set myself up with this convicting belief, this limiting belief that I was not going to be able to go out to homes anymore, at least for a short period of time. And so I had set it up, but I felt so uncomfortable about it on a deep core level that I know that reflected through my conversations that I was having with prospects. And so as a result of that, I had a lot of high activity, but my performance was low. And I had only turned in about $2,200 worth of business, and I was pulling teeth. But one thing that I did was I immediately reached out and reached up to Stephen Davies, Andy Albright, Ed, other leaders that you keep hearing. Stephen, one thing Stephen told me was you need to reach out to the people that the names that Andy's dropping currently. And so what I did is I contacted Megan Wood, and I contacted Jeremico Edwards, and I contacted Katrina Gustin, and I asked them for some guidance on what I'm dealing with and how I could fix it. And everything that I heard from every one of them is they said, do not change or think that you have to change everything that Evan was already doing before that was successful. And so I was like, duh, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing before. And then right after that, Andy started promoting, get out to the house, get out to the house, get out to the house, still get out to the house, find a way to get out to the house. And so that's what I did. The end of that week on Saturday, I started booking appointments with people to go see them in the home. And what I said was, I said, hey, listen. I said, hey, this is Evan. Hey, Stephen, this is Evan, case manager here in Franklin County. Just giving you a quick call. I got the letter you sent in to us pertaining to the protection of your mortgage over there at 123 ABC Street. hey, listen, I've been assigned to get some information out to you. They've got me scheduled to do that sometime tomorrow or the next day. Would morning, afternoon, or evening work best for you so I can go over this information with you? Just like I did before. They tell me a time. I say, hey, great, awesome. Afternoon. Great. So tomorrow I've got a 1 and a 2:30, which would work best for you, and so and so. Did they give me the time? I say, great. Listen. So there's 2 ways we can do this. Now, it's really important if we can do it the primary way, because I got to come out and check. I can come out to the house, check that you're upright and breathing. You're not 5,000 pounds connected to a breathing tube. And it's also important that I come out to the house to go over this information with you so that you can see that I'm a legitimate source and person that has the proper credentials to help you with this situation. Now, don't worry. We're tested regularly. They've got the PPE, the proper protective equipment that we're required to wear, like gloves and a face mask. So I will be wearing that, and we'll maintain our social distancing when I come out. Does that sound fine to you? So I just glorify and make it sound really good and very important that I come out to the house. And you would be surprised, 70% of the people that I'm talking to are 100% okay with it. Now, I still give them the backup plan. Now they have adjusted and lightened some of the rules with us, certain ways that we're able to do things. And we can do some of this over the phone, but it's really important that at the end of the day, I'm going to have to come out anyways. And so I just make it a requirement. And everybody seems to be cool with it as long as you're eliminating any objections and not making it a big deal to you and saying some of those key words. I highly recommend get out to the house, get up in there and build that relationship, because you maintain your control when you're physically with somebody. You lose a lot of control over the phone. Yes, we have the ability to help people over the phone. It's a great thing, and we should still do it if we have to. But Andy's been talking about it a lot. We don't want to just limit our mindsets and limit our opportunities to help people by thinking that, oh, there's this pandemic outside. We can't go physically see somebody because they're already going to say no to me, and it's going to make them feel uncomfortable if I ask or mention it. That's not true. That's a limiting belief, and that's you literally putting yourself in a position where you're missing out on wonderful opportunities. And so that's one of the biggest changes that I made, Stephen. I got out of my head, and I stopped limiting my beliefs so that I could get out there and do what I do best, which is help people face-to-face and connect with them. Now, I still have helped plenty of people over the phone and through Zoom and through different technologies and features, and it's great that we have that. But that's one big thing that I have done. And I hope that if you are concerned about that and you think that it's going to be a problem, please just give yourself a chance and give it a try and open your mind to it, because I promise you, you're going to uncover a lot more. I just visited somebody on Friday. There would have been no way that there was going to be a deal over the phone. I just know it. But because I had gone out there and I just kept prying and asked questions, we're set up on Wednesday to do an annuity rollover for her for about $40,000. So I don't know, Stephen, is there anything else that you want me to mention?
Talk to him just quick few minutes on how stirred up you are. Just because I want to talk in a minute before we move into my subject of consistency. Productive mad is a powerful thing. So hit him up for a few minutes on that, and then I'll come back and talk about consistency.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great way to finish this. So I'm serious, guys. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. Excuse my language, but I'm in a good way. You know, I respect all the leaders and the performers in the organization, and that's stirred up a fire and a drive inside of me that just wants to go crazy and take over. I don't like the fact that I'm not number one, because I believe that I can be, and I hope that other people on this call will feel the same way and attack it that way. But here's the thing, like when you know you've got more in you, and you know the people that are at the top of the leaderboards, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, don't have anything that you don't possess, and they still deal with the same 24 hours in a day, and they deal with other responsibilities, and they deal with other setbacks and obstacles and hurdles that they have to go through. That's something that I have finally realized on a higher level than I ever have before, that there's just no way I'm going to let that continue to happen. So I've set super high goals. Like Steven said, I didn't hit my 20K last week, but my goal before was 10K a week. So I'm shooting for the moon so that I can reach a big trophy. Even if I don't hit the moon, I know I'm going to perform to my best ability. And that's going to get me so much closer to being at that complete tip top of the organization, because I want to set the example, not only for my household and myself, but for the Alliance Nation, for the Davies Nation, and for others around me, for them to go out and reach their fullest potential. And so I'm stirred up. I'm fired up. I don't like being, kind of mediocre on the list. And you're going to see a lot more from me, Steven. I'm going to continue to push towards that 20K a week and reach my fullest potential, man.
I love it, dude. I love it, dude. Love you, man. I love your heart. I love your fire, and I love your example. It's just powerful when someone says, I'm going to go do 20,000, and then they just go out and do it. I mean, that's powerful. That's powerful. The world's full of chest thumpers. But the ones that go out and do it like you did last week, dude, I'm so proud of you. When I saw the numbers continue to roll in, I was like, Evan's going to do it. Evan's going to do it. Evan's going to do it. And you did it. I'm so proud of you. Oh, God, it's me fired up.
All right,
let's go.
You, fired up. I'm going to put my iPad. You're going to get a new one. All right.
Love you too, bro. So couple of quick things. So 7 p.m. East Coast time Wednesday is Gina's training. And another question I've been getting a lot, if we're going to virtual STPs and we're massively reducing the all access, will you still come out? And the answer is yes. My plan is to travel like crazy and do boot camps all over the country. So I will be getting out there doing boot camps, talking about selling, talking about recruiting, talking about building. That's the thing we do. We sell, recruit, we build. That's it. I'm going to talk about those things. I'm going to travel, go and doing that. So don't worry. It's not a matter of me retiring or coming off the road. It's just going to be differently directed. We're going to do some crazy boot camps all over the country. So I'm fired up about that. Now, one thing I want to hit on that, Evan, think about this. If people are still going to the grocery store, you can likely get in that home. If they're still going to the grocery store, you can likely get in that home. Here's what happened. We started taking it just as an excuse. And it was no different. I mean, now there are some cases where people are at risk and it's not safe. Not talking about that. Take that serious. But for most of them, it's just the new thing that they can spit off the top of their tongue now. Instead of I'm too busy, right? Instead of I don't got time this week. It's just, I can't because of COVID. Does that make sense? But if they're still going to the grocery store, you can likely get in that home. And like Evan said, that's the place where the big sales happen, and that's where persistency is the best. All right, so let's get going. Here's what I want to talk about briefly as we wind down the call. I want to talk about consistency. One of the questions I get the most is, Steven, how do I get more consistent? They're like, why is my numbers up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down? Why is life up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down? It's consistency. Consistency is the key. And here's the thing about consistency. It is 100% in your control. You are not made deformed in some way that makes you incapable of being consistent. You weren't. Everything about consistency is 100% within your control. 100% within your control. Everything about consistency, 100% in your control. But we have to take control of it. Because when it comes to consistency, if you're not on both leaderboards every week, it's something you're doing or not doing, and that's it. And that's what we've got to figure out. So that's what I want to talk about. I'm talking about 9 things that will help with consistency because it's 100% in your control. You can be on both leaderboards every single week. You can be on both leaderboards every single week and moving up every single week. You can be moving up levels every single, moving through the levels every month. You can move up levels. Yeah, there's no sense in not. There's no sense in just, you can consistently move up in the company. That's what I want for you because it's on that pursuit of excellence. Like we talked about last week, that's where happiness and fulfillment live, on the pursuit of excellence. They don't live in mediocrity, just humdrum, dum. No, happiness and fulfillment live on the pursuit of excellence. That's where they live. All the good stuff's uphill. Happiness and fulfillment are 2 of those. Consistency is a key to getting there. So that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to give you 9 things. So number one point on being more consistent is develop a deeper sense of responsibility. I'm going to hit you with something, and if you feel like it's pointed at you, it ain't pointed at you, it's pointed at all of us. Because we all go through times where we're not as consistent as we can be. People that lack consistency lack a sense of responsibility. If someone's not consistent, they're not a responsible person. Why? Responsibility drives consistency. I've got to show up, right? I owe the team, so I've got to show up. I can't just check out. I can't just get upset about something and put my little butt on the bench and mope. I can't decide I'm not going to do anything this way. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can't. I've got a family I'm responsible to. I've got a team I'm responsible to. And I've got people that have impacted my life that I'm responsible to. Andy Albright has had a major impact in my life. I can't just not show up. I can't just get distracted and not do what I'm supposed to do. Can you see how a deeper sense of responsibility and consistency are, they're 100% tied together? It's a lack of a sense of responsibility that drives lack of consistency. It's this simple in my life. I love the team, so I got to show up. I love Andy Albright. I love Andy Riddle. I love Diane Lampy. I love the Leventoviches. I love Paul Roberts. So I got to show up. I got to show up. And if my numbers aren't where they're supposed to be, I need to make changes to get them where they're supposed to be. I can't just let it go. No, because I owe the team. This team's changed my life. This team has been such a major impact in my life. I can't just not show up. I can't just flake out. Does that make sense? So that's why it's the number one thing under consistency is develop a deeper sense of responsibility. Show up on the leaderboard every single week, both leaderboards, every single week, every single week, every single week. I'm committed to growing my presence on the recruiting leaderboard, to showing up to the larger team in a bigger sense in my with recruiting. That's why I made the biggest commitment I've ever made in with recruiting. Because I have a responsibility to the team. I can't just sit and twiddle my thumbs. I've got to make results happen. I've got to go out there and match and beat Kyle Cater and Andy Riddle. Why? Because I owe it to the team. Does that make sense? I can't just be content and just go, well, yeah, as long as everybody has fun. No, I owe the team. I owe the team. So if you say, is this pointing at me? I'm pointing at me, brother. I know I owe the team, so I've got to be consistent. That's why when Andy Albright calls me Mr. Consistency, I get fired up, because to be able to be counted on is the highest form of praise. If I can't be counted on, that's pretty sad. If Andy can't know that I'll show up and I'll answer the bell and I'll answer the call, that's terrible. That means I don't take my responsibility to the team serious. That means I'm just a taker. And I like to get around the team and feel good, but then don't bring anything back. Does that make sense? And it's not just the business. I'm the same way with my family. Holly, Chandler, and Tinsley. I'm consistent because I've got a deep sense of responsibility. I love having Holly in my life. I can't imagine my life without Holly. I love having Chandler and Tinsley in my life. I can't imagine my life without them. I'm so grateful. I mean, there are things when I pray and talk about gratitude, I'm talking about those. That's my big three right there, right? So if I don't show up consistently, if I don't produce results for my family, if I don't produce income and take care of things, if I'm not consistent, it's because I'm not taking my responsibility serious. Does that make sense? So I'm hammering that one to death. I'm not going to spend this much time on all of them, but I'm hammering this one to death because I need me and I need you to buy into it 100%, or we won't be consistent. I must show up because I owe the team. Because you'll recruit these people. You'll see these people. Lord knows you probably had some of them at your hotspot in the past. I love the Alliance. I love the team. It's like, I don't see your name on any of the leaderboards. Does that make sense? Can you see how it's confusing and confounding? And so I don't want Andy to ever look at me in that light as just somebody paying lip service, how much I love the Alliance, but not take that sense of responsibility, go, I've got to grow. I've got to move off of this VP level. I've got to go beat Andy Riddle and Kyle Cater in recruiting to give another example to inspire the Alliance. I've got to do it to inspire the Alliance because the Alliance has inspired me. And I'm not a taker. Does that make sense? I know you aren't either. That's why me and you can have these kind of conversations. All right, let's get going. Because Lord knows you can't have this conversation with a taker. Oh, you don't even enter that room. Oh, hurt their feelings and they'll sit and pout and it's just a mess. So don't do that. But with people that are like me and you can have these kind of conversations. And that's why I'm glad me and you can have these kind of conversations. All right, so that drives everything else that comes after this. Number 2, simplify, do less. Not do less activity, do less things. I kind of talked about this with excellence, and the two are tied together. You can't get excellence without consistency. You got to consistently show up to pursue excellence. And that's why some of these points are in common. And this is definitely one they have in common. If you're at the gym 3 hours a day, you won't be able to do this business at the same level that Andy Riddle does. You just won't. Why? Because you only got 168 hours like he does. If you've got to go fishing 4 days a week or hunting 4 days, whatever it is. I've got to play golf 3 days a week. I can't Saturday. I've got to be at the golf. Okay, I'm telling you, that's fine. You can have that, but just make peace with the fact that you'll never be one of the leaders in the business. It is what it is. We only got 160 hours a week, and I don't know about you, but I know me. I need every bit of those to get done what I need to get done. So I can't be spread out amongst a million things and be consistent. Does that make sense? All right. So simplify, do less. And that will help with the third thing, which is live the priorities. You and I, we got to live the priorities we speak. Now I'm pretty clear on my priorities. And those of you that know me, you know what I'm about. Those of you that don't know me well, I look forward to getting to know you better. And you'll learn very quickly that I'm crystal clear about my priorities. It's my spiritual life, my family, and my business. That's where I'm at. Being a magnificent hunter is not on my list of priorities. Why? Because it's nice to enjoy stuff that I enjoy, but I got to keep my priorities tight. Most people have no priorities because they have too many priorities. Does that make sense? So then we got to live our priorities. And most people would echo something similar to that, right? Or they'll say God, family, business, something like that. But if you look at the results, you'll see something different. Andy Albright taught me this a long time ago, and I'm so grateful. And I think about this, one of those things, he's taught me so many things that drive my thought process over the years. He taught me this. He says, show me a man's checkbook and his calendar. I'll tell you what his priorities are. Now, we don't use checkbooks and visual calendars anymore. Keep in mind, I've been with Andy now almost 20 years, but the same principle applies. Show me somebody's bank statements. Show me the bank statements, and let's watch the video of what they did with their time through the week. Me and you can figure out their priorities in a minute. And while most people might pay vocal homage to certain priorities, something along the lines of my priorities are my God, my family, my business. If we look at the videotape, don't you think on most people we'd see something different? Like if we looked at the videotape, their priorities, we will leave the first one alone. We won't get into that one. But if we look at the videotape, we might move the other ones pretty far down. So they might be better served to say, my priorities in life are crystal clear. God, lounging on the couch all weekend. Sports trivia, watching every sports game ever, knowing everything about college football there is to know. Watching every news show that I can possibly watch. Social media, knowing what's going on in all these people's lives who don't really care about me and I don't really care about either, but I got to know it all anyway. And then family, then business. Why? Look at what a person does with their time and their money. That's where their priorities are. That is what the priorities are, despite what comes out of their mouth. Now, since Andy taught me that all those years ago, anytime I feel like I'm lacking consistency or I'm not truly pursuing excellence, I look at those two things. Where'd my time go? Where'd my money go? Because that's where my heart is, despite what I might say. And over the years, when I've looked at it through that lens, it's meant that there need to be some changes made. And again, these are leadership conversations. You can't have these with everybody. But live the priorities we speak. Andy Albright said this a long time ago, too. He said, if people would just do what they tell their kids to do, their lives would be so much better. And I said, whoa, that's simple. It's true. All right, number 4, seek accountability through systems and rules. So Diana Castile throws down, I'm going to write 15 applications every week, no matter what. Every week, no matter what. Every week, no matter what. So what did she do? She put some rules and accountability in place. She had Mike change the access code to the TV so she cannot watch anything on the TV until she shows him that she's texted me her production report that includes 15 written applications. And she texted Holly. That's what she texted Holly and said, hey, do I count an app that I had to write for one that got declined? Holly said, would you have written that app if it had not gotten declined? And she's, okay, I'll go get another one. I'm serious. She took it serious. And that's why she accomplished it. It's not magic. Diana wasn't like blessed by a rock troll or some sort of magic, hoodoo came over her. She put a system in place that included rules and accountability. And that's it. That's it. And I heard through the grapevine that her and another of the wives in the alliance have decided to text that they've taken my diet plan. You got to text the other person what you're about to eat or drink before you eat or drink it. I heard that through the grapevine. I love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you, Dinah. So here's real simple. When it comes to rules and systems, when blank, I must blank. It's that simple. Must. And I'm going to talk about, actually, that's the next point. We'll get to that one right now, actually. Number 5, connect the dots between what you want and what you must do to get there. I talk about hunting and fishing a lot because I love those things. I want crazier experiences with that. So what does that mean? When I want to take Chandler, Tinsley, and a very drugged Holly on a crazy fishing trip in the Keys, I must do lesser fishing now. Does that make sense? When I say I'm going to hit agency manager Austin Heater, I love you, dude. When I say I'm going to be the shortest tenured key leader in Alliance history, I must. And that's why you're on a recruiting leaderboards every week, Bo. It ain't complicated. And I would look for those numbers to continue to grow. When my calendar says dial, I must dial immediately. No wiggle room. No wiggle room. All of the top achievers in my life that I know do not have wiggle room. All the broke people, all the underachievers, all the just super plateaued people in my life, they got all kinds of wiggle room. There's no when I'm blank, I must. It's more like when I probably should, might, oughta. That's where they live. But the top achievers in my life, the top achievers I know, when blank, I must. That's how they live. So you connect the dots between what I want and what I must do. When you get frustrated in this business, it will be from wanting something, but not connecting the dots to what you must do to get there. Anytime you begrudge an activity, I hear people saying, I just hate getting on the phone. I just hate getting on the phone. How do I get myself to get on the phone? Connect the dots. It ain't complicated. You want to pay the mortgage, you better get on the daggone phone. If you want to go agency manager, you better daggone recruit every week. If you want to go to Thailand with us, you better daggone dial every week. You better do 15 apps. You see what I'm saying? Like, just connect the dots. When you connect the dots, it's a game. It's fun. When you connect the dots, it's fun. It gives life to it. So if you're ever begrudging something, number 5, if you're begrudging it, you will lack consistency in it. So we go back to number 5. What do you and I need to do in those moments? You and I need to connect the dots and go, but I need to because I want to get to here. Does that make sense? Connect the dots. All right, number 6, as far as consistency, invest in enough resources to produce the result. I see people try and penny ante this business, and I just scratch my head. I'm like, hey, if that's all you ever invest in, you're never going to hit agency manager. I mean, I'm glad you're doing something, but if that's all you're putting in, you'll never hit agency manager. It's not a big enough net to catch enough fish to get there. It's not complicated. Does that make sense? I want to write $20,000 a week like Evan's doing. Well, invest in a ton of leads. Well, what if finances are tight? Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Here's what I'll tell you I did. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I did in the beginning. Holly and I were so broke, you couldn't even see broke from where we were at. I went and I got a $4,000 unsecured loan from Wells Fargo. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I did for $4,000 so that I could just go all in on leads. So when you hear like my quick rise in the Alliance, there's 2 things. One, I gambled it all on me. I bet it all on me. Here's the way I figured it. You can't fall off the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I got some stuff to lose. You know what I'm saying? Back then, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fall off the bottom? You can't fall off the bottom. So I thought the only person worth betting on at this point is me. I'm going to put it all on me. Let's go. That, and then the other one I talked about with simplifying, I was the most boring person on planet Earth. That big rise that everybody loves talking about, how in 3 years went to becoming a $1 million a year income earner. I was so boring. You wouldn't want to hang out. Why? Because all I did was my top 3. All I did. That's it. That's it. I didn't watch any sports. I didn't have any hobbies. I was the least interested. There's a 3-year window of pop trivia in America that I have no idea. Sometimes people will say stuff and I have to look it up because I missed that part. I just missed it. Why? Because I wanted to get free. Does that make sense? If you know all the stuff that broke people know, you will never cease to be a broke person. Does that make sense? If you know all the stuff that people at your level already know, you're going to stay there forever. If you've been stuck at key leader forever, I promise you, you know the same stuff as all the key leaders. Simplify, get tired of those priorities and move up. I got a little bit off my point here on connecting the dots and investing enough resources, but I wanted to tie that knot back in. All right, let's get going. Number 7, eliminate all negative influences. All negative influences, all negative influences. Here's why. 2 contrasting states of mind cannot exist in the same space. So if we're negative, we can't be creative. It's just how our minds work. If we're negative, we can't pursue excellence in a negative state. That's one of the first things Andy taught me when I wanted to go crazy in the field. I said, Bo, tell me everything you need to know. He said, Bo, don't let any negativity seep in when you're out there in the field. So guess what? I didn't listen to music. Why? I couldn't take a chance. A song might make me negative. When I'm negative, I can't be creative. When I'm negative, I can't be abundant. When I'm negative, I can't be thinking how to solve this problem, right? So I didn't listen to any music. What did I listen to? Well, back then we had these things called tapes. And I know that's a throwback, but man, we had some tapes back then. Listen to motivational tapes is what I did because I need to keep my mind right. And I'm talking about news. The people that have not been productive during this crisis, that's the news junkies, the news addicts. And you say, I need to stay informed. Get as much information as you need to get to stay safe that day and then stop. And it doesn't matter whether you're on left side, right side, whatever. But by the way, both sides think they're the middle. But it doesn't matter. It's so filled with negativity and anger and angst and desperation. It's going to put you in a limited state. Any negative influence makes you less. Any negative influence makes you less. So we're talking news, we're talking media, and I'm talking people. You want to see me get the heck out of Dodge? Get somebody get negative around me. I will get the heck out of Dodge real quick because I know me. I can't because I've let it happen before and I got negative and I had to get my mind right. So I can't. 0 negativity. All right. Negativity and anger cannot coexist with excellence. Not in the same neighborhood, brother. All right, we got to get going here. I'm almost out of time. Number 8, consistently expand your goals. If your goal is to stay key leader, you won't be able to stay consistent. Why? Because same gets boring. It's that arrow that I draw all the time. Whereas your skills grow, you got to grow the challenges. So just to stay key leader or to stay agency manager, you're going to get bored. Or to just stay a $20,000 producer and only write life and annuities and not bring in this extra stuff, you're going to get bored. And you can't be bored and stay consistent because when we get bored, and you might be better than me, God, I hope you are. But I know me, when I get bored, I pull off the basics. Why? Because I like to be entertained. That's why I've got to pick a bigger goal constantly so that I keep consistently doing the things that got me here. People say all the time, I got to get back to the basics. Let's just try not leave them. Let's just try not leave them by adding consistently expanding goals. So we got to keep reaching. And then the last one, number 9, when it comes to consistency, take pride in being a great finisher. If there's one thing I'm trying to hammer into my son's head, it's to be a finisher. Don't be someone that halfway does stuff. Be a finisher, because here's the way life works. Life pays in money and happiness and fulfillment and any of the things that are the good stuff that you want. It pays the finishers. It don't pay the half behinders. It don't pay the quarter way there. When you look at people whose houses and cars are a wreck and everything's just a wreck, that's not the wealthy people. That's not the happy people. Life pays the finishers and all the good stuff. So if you take pride in being a good finisher, that's going to demand consistency. Guys, Holly and I love you. I am more excited than you can imagine because I made the kind of commitment that scares the crap out of me, and I love it. I love it. I made the kind of commitment that made me feel overwhelmed when it comes to recruiting. I know several of you guys made the biggest commitment in recruiting that you've ever made. I hope you're as nervous as I am. I hope you're as excited as I am. People say, I don't like being nervous. You better, all the good stuff in life scares you to death a little bit at first, remember? So I'm fired up. Let's go get this thing done, guys. Holly and I love you. Anything I can do to help, anything we can do to help, reach out. Let's go get it done. Let's take the next, we got Monday, we got Tuesday, we got Wednesday, weekends on Thursday. Let's take those 4 days and let's set up crazy momentum for May. Don't wait for May. Don't be like, I'm going to wait till May and I'm going to really get after it. No, 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 no. What you will do in May will be determined by what you do with what we have left. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, light a fire. Guys, Holly, I love you. Take care.